What's up, everyone? So we're going to take something that looks like this and convert it into something that looks like this. And if you notice, there's no window back here. So we're going to I'll show you a method with minimal Photoshop, how to put this in. And you get a lot of flexibility at the window size. We'll play with that. Also, we're going to do a couple compositions. So see what you guys think as far as the ones you like at the end. You can go ahead and vote on that. But as we get started, so we have a bronze pitcher that we're going to kind of illuminate. We'll get the lights off here. We might turn the fabric red in front, and if we go for broke, we'll have to look at the background and see if we can turn maybe that a little bit red. And I'll go through some of the details on why that can be an issue putting in a fake window. So let's get the lights off and let's get started. Two types of lights, a little pin light and also a red light, a more aggressive red light. So as we get going here, let's get the app running, slow shutter, and all right. So we're going to first start out with the vase or the pitcher. Try to get this illuminated. We're going to go with a kind of an angle, 45 degrees here coming in. And we'll have a back lit area as far as that goes, as far as the window. But let's really kind of get this bright and lit up here. And we'll work through it. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, the vase is coming in, as you can see. So let's light it up some more. Let's get this nice and bright. Get this here. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, coming in pretty good. Pretty well, I should say. Let's just light it up a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let me see, yeah. All right, I could use a little bit more here. A little bit more in this area. I'm gonna brighten it up here. Okay. All right, so that looks decent. Now let's hit a little red light. We're going to use a little red light on we might use this on the background a little bit, but we got to be careful not to overlap it with the fake window coming in. So I'm going to move this around, hopefully pick some of this up and see what we got. Yeah, a little bit different there. Not too, kind of blew out the piece a little bit. Man, we can maybe work with that. This will be a demo. Okay. Now, we're going to save this off. We'll save this off here because we're going to actually put two windows, one on each side and one in the middle. So we'll play around with the different compositions. It's really more of a concept on the lighting and the windows and see if we can make this happen. So as you guys see, we have the vase, a little bit of red fabric lit up. And now how do we go about putting in the window in the back? So what we have is we have the iPad, as you guys have seen the iPad back there, but we're going to turn this on. Make sure we're good. Yep. All right, so we're going to turn this on. And iPads are actually pretty bright, guys. So what we need to do is the concept is make sure the setting, the brightness setting is like half to low. Because if you put it all the way up, it's going to burn through very quickly. All right, we're going to try this. we'll try the setting on the iPad of this. So this is a picture, an AI picture of a window. Obviously it's small, but the thing is we can get it larger in Photoshop. We can enlarge it up and make it look like it's a very big, large window and put it right behind the subject. So what we're going to do is a long exposure. Now this is off. The camera's off right now, but we're going to expose it and you can watch the actual window come into play here in a minute. And this really kind of depends on how long we're going to wait. So you can see this window coming in right up in there. It's coming in, it's coming in. And it's just a matter of waiting to see this. So we can get it larger as it's exposing. We can get a little bit larger and it will make it look a little bit more authentic. Though that's kind of cool in itself. All right, so I'm going to save. We're going to save this off. So we have two saves. We have one without the window. We can put these windows on the side, or we can make this a lot bigger. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to bump up the intensity of this light just a little bit more. And we'll do another exposure of it. All right, that's significantly brighter. Then we're going to start this again, and you'll see that window fill in. Okay, it's getting brighter, it's getting brighter. And I think I'm going to stop. Look at that. I'm going to save this one, and I'll go a little bit more. And for instance, if we put light back here, we just messed it up. You can tell that it's not a window because you can obviously see it's way forward than if you highlight something. So we have to highlight something down here to give it a little bit of depth, or something over here, a little bit of depth like it's a window. So we're going to try this. If not, if it doesn't work, we have some other backups that we can do. So let's shut this off now because that doesn't need to be on. In fact, we can just move this out of the way. And let's start with over to the right or the left. We're going to start with a little red light over here against this wall. See if we can get just something to show in. Give a little bit more depth, but everything else will be in the dark. Okay, that is quite large, and I think I'm going to stop there. All right, we got it done. There's two main images. I'm going to walk you through the edit. So we have two photos. We'll try to keep it as simple as possible because there's a lot of different variations we can do. But the first image is just the bronze vase or the bronze pitcher with no window in the background. And so we're going to keep that as is. That's going to be kind of our core or base layer. And then we exposed the window. We exposed the window. We just put it up against the wall, hit the exposure and slow shutter, and then expose that correctly. So we have those two photos that go into the iPad, a regular iOS photo app, and I just crop. On that second photo, I just cropped the window because that's all we want. And then we bring it into basically Procreate or Photoshop. Base layer is just the picture and just with no window. And then we add in the window as a second layer and start moving it around and playing with it. So the first layer we can kind of lower down the exposure because that's something that I didn't really think about as much. And then we can brighten up the window and move it over to the side to make it look like there's a little bit of reflection. Now the tricky thing is because it's so dark, I played around with another exposure off camera that you guys don't get to see as I put a little light against the wall to try to make it look and give it a little bit of depth. We talked about that. I showed a little bit of that in the image there. So I'm going to share with you a few photos that we've done. It looks okay. It could use some work, but it's the concept to start thinking of some of the things you don't have to expand your little small studio wherever you're doing it to get the results you want. So some of the things in the future, like galaxies, nighttime views, that stuff all against the wall, and then you can do something kind of unique in the foreground. So if you like this stuff, you know what to do, guys. Hit that like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.